Hello, everyone. So, welcome to YouTube Live, talking about healing and the power of healing. The power of healing, the power of healing, the power and the journey. When I go back to my time when I was doing my healing years ago, in 2003 was when I first did my Reiki attunement. But before then, I was always aware of energy. And hello to those that are arriving. If it's lovely to have you here. But healing's always been a passion of mine. I've always been what I'd say drawn to healing. And what I found was in 2003, probably about 2002, when I started actually receiving healing, automatically my hand palms opened up and energy started to flow. And it was quite beautiful how the energy started to flow. It just showed you that was the power of what healing was, what healing could do. And I ended up going through first a spontaneous healing within my own energy, within my own self. Now, when you think about healing, that they say some people a lot of people can learn to do it. It's quite easy to learn, but it takes a lot of practice to get it to a certain level. And so when someone asked me on this channel, they asked me, hey, could you do something about healing? I said, yeah, sure, I can do something about healing. Because when you think about it, when you do healing, you're not doing it on your own. You always do it with the help of guides that help you, but also with what you believe in. Some people believe in like a higher power, or they believe in a higher energy or that infinite energy. And so we asked to do it together. And healing never takes place with just the healer. The healer is just really what you could say. The healer is just like a light switch that actually connects that energy to the healee that needs to have that energy. And it's all about frequency, because when you think about it with healing, the healer needs to raise their frequency to a higher frequency through being connected to that healing energy, but also the person that's receiving the healing also needs to get their energy raised. So when there is someone that's ill, when you think about it, let's say that somebody's got a sore knee or something is not right, it's because the energy is lower at that point in that place of the body. And when a healer can put energy into it and actually energize it, they can energize it as much that the body can find its own repair mechanism where it can use that energy to create the healing in the body that's needed. So it's about raising the energy. What we do, there's two ways that you can do healing, and I always ask for help. So I'd always be asking my guides. And when you're doing trance, you can do trance with the guide, but you can also do the trance with the highest energy from the universe that some people would call God, right? Now, I always connect into that highest energy, the highest frequency in the universe, but I also call my guides. And together we do it. Like I said, we do it together. Now, you can ask for guides to go and do the work for you, but I feel that as healers, we really do need to be present to the person that we're sending the healing to. Not just, oh, I'll send you some healing, 5 minutes done. No, really take the time to sit for them in compassion and love, and send them the highest vibration of healing and love that you can send them. And that's what's going to really bring about the healing that's needed. I myself have been sitting in a circle for healing for quite a number of years, and it's very important to set up a circle if you want to develop your healing abilities to a higher standard. And I've been sitting in circle on and off for probably about 8 years, in and out of circle, raising the frequency and sitting with the spirit world. At one time, I had 2 different circles going where I would sit, and a circle would be a place where we would sit with like minds, sitting for the healing energy, so that we could raise the frequency, and so that I myself could develop the healing abilities. And what happened in that circle, and it was very important, was the frequency went up. So if we had, you know, if you had the ability to do healing before, when you sat in circle for a number of years, more and more, your frequency went up and up and up. Somebody just asked me a question: can you post this to other places? Yes, you can, but if you just hit the share button on this and share it yourself, feel free to do that. But yeah, so you're raising your frequency each week that you sit in circle, and it's like a commitment to the spirit world. And I think that's the amazing thing about healing. People that actually choose the healing path are like sitting there in non-judgment. They're sitting there in the power of the highest frequency, and they're doing it together for the spirit world and the good of people that they can reach with that healing ability. And it's beautiful to be a part of a really good healing circle. But it doesn't only just raise the frequency in the person that wants to do this. So myself, I wanted to actually develop the healing ability to a stronger way of doing healing. But you have to have the right sitters. So what I mean by sitters is different people that would sit just unconditionally for what happened within the healing circle. And they all discovered that they got spontaneous healings. They all discovered that their frequency also went up. We found that when certain sitters didn't turn up to circle for maybe 1 or 2 weeks because of circumstances, when they came back in, it was quite difficult for them to adjust to the frequency of the energy. They could feel like, whoa, there's been a big change. So it can take some time for people to get used to the frequency of the energy when you're sitting in a healing circle. The main thing in circle is to have like the right setting. So you've got to, before going into healing circle, no having conversations about anything. Just come in, talk about light stuff, not very much, no discussions. You come in. When you come into the healing circle, you walk in with peace in your heart and compassion. And when you sit there, you can sit in the quietness and the frequency of the energy together, and you're sitting there enjoying that as a group, and all the group progress, and that's the best way to do this as a group together. Now, in a healing circle, we don't sit in the dark, we sit in the light, because what do you want? You want to amplify the light in healing energy as well. It's not like physical energy. When people sit in physical energy, they sit in the dark, they sit in a cabinet. Within the healing energy, we don't need a cabinet, we just sit in the light. And I spoke to other circles that sat for healing as well. And it's quite interesting, because I thought somehow I had the idea that the light amplified the frequency of the healing energy. And I spoke to someone else that was very good in the healing, and they said yes, they got that from spirit as well, that the light amplified the frequency of the energy. So there was 2 circles getting the same sort of information, and I know there's more out there. So there'll be some of you watching this saying, yeah, we sit in a healing circle. Yeah, we've noticed that the light amplifies the frequency of the healing energy. If you've got any questions about healing or anything, just write it in here in the chat. The chat is open. Like I mentioned before, when you send healing, you can send it like by just connecting into that highest frequency and just letting it flow through you. And the thing is to remember, it's the power of your mind, it's the power of your thoughts. So if you, what your imagination can see and perceive, the energy can follow. And it's not a question of wanting to, it's like an attunement. And when I talk about an attunement, you're attuning yourself to the frequency of that energy that's coming through you. And it's where your mind, your consciousness changes. And it's like, it can be like a switch, like a light switch, where suddenly you attune to it, and then the energy flows. and then it's not like you have to send anymore. It's like it actually automatically flows. I know that that I used to work in old people's wards, and I used to, when I was helping them, the energy would flow automatically. So that, and the way I see that, some people say, "Oh, is that okay?" So yes, it's okay, because you got to imagine this: when energy flows automatically to people, it's because the healing energy is needed, right? And when I was working in the area where people really needed help in the nursing nursing profession, it was like the energy would flow automatically, and sometimes it could just flow into my aura where people really needed it, and they received healing, and I didn't even need to think about it. And that is what, the way that works is, that's their agreement with that higher power and themselves, so healing can take place. And that's something to remember. Someone says, do I have any medical intuition? I do in some way. I'll pick up stuff about people. If somebody asks me something, it's like I can almost feel it. I do a little bit. I don't specialize in that, but it sometimes it just comes in, and it's like, I'll suddenly know, this is a serious condition, you need to go to hospital, this is this. So it's just because of I have that nursing background, it's integrated in my healing. So whenever alarm bells go off, and that's what we have in the nursing profession, we do that. So welcome to those that are joining me, because when the alarm bells go off, it's like, oh no, that's a serious condition, you really need to go to hospital, you really need to get that sorted. So that's that. So the answer to, do I have any medical intuition? I do, but I haven't gone into that as much, because I've gone more into that trance healing and into the healing with guides and that trance healing, because it was to raise the frequency and to sit for the spirit world, and the possibility that the healing frequency can get so strong that it can bring healing to people that need it. And that's a beautiful thing. If you're enjoying this, please give me a like. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel to keep up to date on other stuff like this, feel free to subscribe. It's good to stay in contact, especially in these times. And all I wanted to do is really just share knowledge with people, right? So like I said before, when you're connecting into the energy, some people could believe in God, and some people could believe in a higher power of the universe, or whatever, what you believe in, so long as you believe. The more you believe in a higher power, a higher energy, a greatness greater than yourself, the more that you can tap into that. Because I find that the filter to healing energy, what filters the most is the mind of, what I'd say, the medium, but the mind of the healer. Because their old belief systems can filter how the energy flows. And that's something to remind yourself of, is when you're going into that healing, you want to go into that trance healing. You want to, as a healer, I believe the mind does not need to be there. So in other words, your mind should be as far away as possible, so that the healing can come through so strong and have an effect, the biggest effect on someone that is needed. And like I said, that's the agreement between the great something and the healee that's receiving the energy. Because what are you? You're the light switch, and you're the one that's bringing the energy through to people. There are different types of healing. There are the hands-on healing and the distance healing. I do both, and I feel that, but they're both important. Some people really need to feel that they're, they need to feel the touch. Obviously not in this situation, like nowadays, at this moment in time, it's all distant healing. What I love about distant healing, it is so fantastic to do it without the ego of wanting to know, oh, did it work? Or wanting to know, did it do? All you know is that you've done your best, and you've been that conductor of energy that was needed to bring some positive change into somebody's life. Now, if you can change someone's positivity just through energy, then you've done a fantastic job. And if that energy can go on and sit in the cells of the body of the healer, and suddenly that has an activation process happening, which has been recorded by quantum science, once that happens, then the body can actually learn or be triggered to create a healing process itself. So I always say, when we sit there in compassion for the person that we're working with, and we let it flow with the highest frequency of love and empathy for the person, it's so beautiful how the healing energy can flow to them. Hands-on healing used to be needed a lot in early years, like especially in 2003 when Reiki was quite a lot in, when you got the Reiki, the hands-on healing, and that was through an attunement. But that was an attunement that you'd have to be attuned through a master. And what we know these days, really, you don't really need to be attuned through a master to actually be able to give healing to someone, because we all have this God-given gift to be able to send healing to each other. And you think about that and the power of prayer, right? The power of prayer is amazing. Just the power of prayer. So if you can bring the power of prayer into your healing practice for other people, your healing will it will go tenfold, much better than what it was before. That's why the more that a healer can spiritualize themselves, the more that they can bring that higher frequency to people. So, people can receive the healing that's needed. I did talk about the attunement, and the attunement, I believe, is like when you sit for spirit, like every week in a healing group, and you're sitting there just to develop it, and you may have a healing list, and you may work on the sitters there so that healing can be developed. It's an amazing thing to do, and it's also beautiful to do as a group. You get yourself attuned to that beautiful energy every time, and it raises your frequency. I've got a question coming in there. Isn't it practically the same praying and healing? Well, when if you have a belief, and you have belief healers as well, so it's a nice question that you've asked there. I wouldn't say no to that. For me, it is the same thing in the way, but when you're sending energy and you're letting the energy flow through you, the energy is actually energizing the power of the prayer. So it's like it's becoming a oneness. So it's not, when you're just praying, you're praying to a higher God, a higher entity, a higher being to do the work. But we are praying to that, but yet we're energizing it with the healing energy, which immensely energizes the person that's receiving the healing. I always explain to people that don't know what healing is. I say it's similar to prayer, but with energy. And that's a beautiful thing to be able to do. And it's one of the best things you can do to people, because I've had many people that I've sent healing to that have just felt better through receiving it. And it's a case of like, isn't that a wonderful gift to have? A wonderful gift. So distance healing is really good. We do a distance healing once a week at the moment, and we do it on Tuesday evenings, and we do it for the world and for anyone that needs healing. And it's really beautiful to do that as a group, as a collective, because it's such a compassionate thing to do without looking at the outcome, but just knowing that if you can change someone's, emotionally, if you can heal someone emotionally, or bring that emotional strength that they needed at that time of weakness, is such a fantastic thing a gift to be able to do. So yeah, healing can help, in many ways. And when I think how far my healing has developed since 2003, when I did my Reiki attunement, it's immense. And welcome to those that have just arrived. I can see you, and that's really good. But the power of thoughts, when you think about that, healing is the power of thoughts. Energy follows your thoughts and visualization, but also the energy can influence your thoughts and visualization. So when you can see someone, and for anyone that's doing any healing, if you can imagine them not with the sore leg, not with the sore arm, not with the disease, but if you can see them in the light, fully healed and fully in the light, and you see them healthy, and you just let the energy flow to them, to just imagine what that energy is bringing to them and what sort of frequency that's bringing to them. I always see my people that I'm sending healing in a beautiful way, completely healed, healthy, and happy. Healed, healthy, and happy. Well, it's the 3 H's, isn't it? So if you're liking this video, please give me a like, and if you want to subscribe, please feel to subscribe, because I'm planning on doing more. And if you want me to do a video about anything else, you just write it in the comments here. I don't mind doing it. So like I said before, the healing energy can come in emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and physically, and we don't concentrate on it. I don't concentrate on any one of them. I leave that up to the great something to know where the energy is going, and I let it flow to the person in whatever that it needs. Because when you think about, some people will receive healing and healing will take place, but some people will receive healing and it goes really slowly, and you think, why is that? Why does it go slow with some, but with others it actually heals quickly? And it's not. And what I believe that's got nothing to do with your healing ability. You turned up, spirit turned up, and the energy turned up, but it's to do with, you know, that thing from what is supposed to happen. Is that healing supposed to happen at that moment in time? Was there something to be learned? All those sort of things. And it's all these things like, is the person going to look after themselves? Because when a person is going through a healing process, so you're sending healing to them, they have to go through like that emotional part of it. They go through the mental part of it. They go through the physical part of it. And if one of the parts of that is a little bit less than the other, then it's going to have a knock-on effect on the other two. So if you're physically not feeling well, it can have an effect on you emotionally, it can have an effect on you mentally. But if your mental health is going down, it can have an effect on you emotionally and physically. So it's just knowing that you know, we can conduct our energy to someone, but we're raising them up with love and compassion, and knowing that it's enough. And that's the main thing, just knowing that it's enough. So yeah, has anyone got any more questions? Please feel to ask them. That's a good thing. So yeah, the healing and the power of the healing. When I feel like where I was and where I am now with the journey of healing, I'm in a totally different space. I know when I first started my healing journey, I thought, I know it all. I've experienced it all. I'd done so many different types of healing. I'd done Reiki, and I'd done this, and I'd done that. Within the first 3 years, I've done so many different sorts, and I wanted to find out as much as I could about healing and what it actually could do and what the possibilities were of the healing. I wanted to know more about the quantum physics of it. I wanted to know how it worked. How was it affecting the cells? How was it affecting the body? What did it actually do? And there was a book that I read that was really good. It said the body is a battery. And if you can imagine, when somebody becomes sick, the battery is getting low. So when they're getting ill, the battery is becoming low, just energetically. So when you can actually conduct energy to that person in love and compassion, you're raising their energy up. You're actually plugging them in so that they can fill their battery, their body. And once their body is full and the cells are full of energy, then the body can find its own healing properties, and it can start to change and to heal. So you're giving the body the possibility to heal. Now, I always say to people when they come for a healing, I said, you may come for the sore knee, and the sore knee might take 6 weeks to get healed, but you may find that other things heal. And then they come back the week after. I tell you what, I've been sleeping well. I've been feeling less stressed. It's like I've got a change in my thought process. Yeah, that's all the knock-on effect from healing, because like I said, it can happen on so many levels, and it can help you on so many levels. Yeah, the power of healing, it's amazing. I think it's a beautiful thing to do, and to be able to sit in that power for the spirit world, and to know that we're doing the best job to our ability. So if anyone's got any questions, please write them down. If you've got any questions about sitting in circle, or if you've got any questions about healing, just feel free to write them in here. But yeah, the power of healing also for yourself, because there was also a study done as well on someone that was ill, and when they actually started giving healing to other people, that's when healing started to happen to themselves. So it just shows you that actually, when you send healing, you can have a spontaneous healing yourself as a healer, and it's so needed. And that's the thing to do. That's a good question. Someone asked, what is the difference between healing and Reiki? Really, Reiki is just a name. I mean, if you think about Reiki, there's probably about, I'm going to have to estimate here. There could be about 100 different sorts of Reiki. You got the purple Reiki, the angel Reiki, the rainbow Reiki. You got so many colors. You got and there's so many different types of Reiki, and there's so many different frequencies of energy. But when you think about it, healing and Reiki are one of the same. They're all connected to that great something. They're all connected to that what I would say the God force, the highest energy in the universe. They're all connected to that. And what are they doing? They're conducting that higher energy through to the patient that's needed. So it just shows you that it's one of the same thing. And we are all a part of that energy, that life force, that energy that Reiki talks about. And also, when you think about the chi energy that's in life, we're all connected to that chi energy. We're connected to that universal energy. We're connected to all that. And it's just what we do as healers. We conduct that. So the difference is not more, but only Reiki is a system, and healing is less of a system. And it depends how you do the healing. The more that you get your mind out of the way and you go into trance, you become less and less of a system and less of the filter, because Reiki is about putting the hands on certain places because you think that that's how it should be done, which is also using the mind. But when you can get into that healing aspect of yourself and you want to send that healing in the most positive way to have the most positive impact on somebody's life, you just let go and you let the healing go through you. So you just become the light switch. And then there's no filters to the mind. And when there's no filters to the mind, there's nothing slowing down the energy. So then you can get a more pureness of energy coming through. And that's not me saying that any other system is not pure. It's every healer can use any system what they want. But what I'm saying is, when you can release your mind when you're sending healing, that increases the energy tenfold. And it's beautiful to watch. And that attunement with the spirit world, when you see the spirit guides that are working with people when they're working with healing, that's amazing to be able to see that attunement and know that the spirit world is behind someone's healing, doing it 100%. And that's beautiful to see. And so I hope that answers your question anyway. So, but yeah, the power of healing for yourself. You can have a spontaneous healing. You can have a spontaneous healing on others. I've had people that have come to me in the past for healing, and I don't like to. I'm not one of these healers that likes to brag about all the things I've done, because I don't do that. All I know is people have had some fantastic results with my healing, and I'm happy to be of service. And I believe healing is a service, not that it should be for free. I feel that distance healing you can do for free, but I feel that if someone comes to you for like a session, they pay for your time. They don't pay for the healing, because at the end of the day, we have to live in a real world, and that real world is what we know as this life. And that we all know that's the physical side of life. Spiritually, if anyone was really desperate of a healing, I'd say, right, come along on Tuesday evenings, and no problem. And then it's just a case of putting the name down and sending them the healing that they need. But I want to wish you a lot of love and light here today. And I want to just remind you, if you wanted to subscribe to my channel and you wanted to ask me any questions about doing any other videos on any other subject, please let me know, and I'll do it. This one came spontaneous 3 days ago, and I said, all right, I'll do it on healing. And I believe To be the healer is to be the most spiritualized side of yourself, and to be in connection with that. And when you're in the oneness of that energy and that frequency, and you can send the energy to someone else without ego, without pushing the outcome, but just being there and holding space to someone, it's a beautiful gift to have. So I want to thank you all for coming. I'm going to leave this video. If you like this video, please like this video. Any questions, let me know. And if you'd like me to talk about something else, I will. Thank you all for coming. I wish you a fantastic day.